The opinions expressed by the host and guest on this program are solely their own and do not represent the views or opinions of Blind United. We strive to provide diverse perspectives and discussions on our platform, but the opinions expressed should be understood as personal viewpoints and not reflective of Blind United as an organization.
It's time. It's time for
Coffee time.
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 And here is your Coffee Time crew.
Well, all right. Well, it's welcome back to Coffee Time with Blind United. It's TGIF. I'm gonna call it Freedom Friday today. We're gonna just kind of get loose, and we got one article for everybody today that we're gonna play. So, but trust and believe, when you guys hear this article, we'll probably end up talking the whole hour up on this conversation. So, but anyway, so today on the crew, we got. I know where it says Brittany's there. I'm gonna try again. Britt, can you get unmuted, sweetie? You there? Well, she's there. She must be having technical difficulties. So, but anyway, we got Miss Carol with us. Good morning, Carol.
Good morning, everyone.
And then my brother George.
¿Cómo estás todos ahora? Anyways, hello. How you doing? I'm surprised I muted myself this time. But, yeah,
Well,
it's how's your week been, man?
It's been good. It's been good. It's been good. Right quick, just so everybody know, we don't have Pedro with us this Friday. He had some other things he had to take care of today, so he is missed, but we will suffer through it, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. Yes, sir.
So, but no, it's been a good week, man. I'm glad it's Friday. Got some stuff going on later on today. Got my chapter meeting for NFB. For those that don't know, I mean, again, yeah, we're Blind United, but again, I am a member of the NFB, but that does not mean that I am anti-ACB. It just, again, I believe in both of the organizations. I mean, we started Blind United simply because there has to be a catalyst in the middle there somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this organization believes in this, that organization believes in that, and then we get stuck in the middle and we don't get anything done. So
True.
we're just trying to be that organization in the middle, and hey, can we all get along kind of situation? So
Right.
Hey, Miss Carol, can I ask you, since you're in Dallas, who do the Cowboys play this weekend?
It doesn't matter. They're going to lose to them. But, I know they did the Giants. I'm not sure who they play this Sunday, to tell you the truth, because I don't follow them. I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, Detroit Lions fan,
And George, since you brought them up.
I was checking right now. No, I guess they're not playing this week. I guess they're off.
Well, they played Thursday, so they played Sunday and then they played Thursday.
Oh, that's right.
For Thanksgiving. So
that is right. You're right. Okay.
But they should be playing this Sunday. It wasn't Thanksgiving this past today. Yesterday was not Thanksgiving. So
that's true. They should be playing someone. Yes, sir.
So they should be playing somewhere.
Or they got to buy. I don't know.
They already had.
Oh, they went bye-bye a long time ago. That's for sure.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Okay.
Houston, Texas are doing well though, so I'm.
Yes, they are.
That.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I know the thing about Mr. Davis. He's not into football, but he got two teams over there. Actually, wait a minute. There's three teams in California, isn't there? There's San Francisco, there's the Rams,
San Francisco 49ers,
and the
LA Rams, and the LA Chargers. No,
right.
Yeah.
They moved from San Diego. So that's kind of cool, huh? But no. Anyways,
they used to have they have the Oakland Raiders, and now it's Las Vegas Raiders. So they have 4 teams. I don't know how y'all did all of that.
And did you see that Oklahoma, that the Oakland A's are moving to Las Vegas too now? This I think
I heard,
yeah. I think next year or this year or what? Well, it's already over, but next year they'll be playing in Sacramento until the new stadium is built.
Wow. Well, I
Is it?
know that on Wednesday night, the LA Kings beat the Dallas Stars. It's a hockey team. So,
I know, isn't it, Miss Brennan, Mr. Davis? You remember back in the day when betting was so you can't do that now. You got professional
Immoral.
teams in Las Vegas.
right?
Well, I mean, again, it's and look at how they did. I mean, Vegas didn't have anything. Now they got the Raiders. They done snatched up the Oakland A's, the Athletics, and they got their Vegas. They have their hockey team now.
Yep, and there's basketball's going. I heard they're going to get basketball too, aren't they?
Well, from my understanding, they're going to have all of that there. I mean, I think they realize they can make a lot of money because one sport that's been going there forever.
What?
Which sport?
NASCAR.
Oh,
Las Vegas?
Wow.
Yeah, NASCAR. Vegas is the Las Vegas International Raceway. They've been doing. That's one of the biggest races of the year every year.
Oh wow! I didn't realize that. Okay.
I didn't know that either, and I didn't know how they could do that on all that heat. It's hot in those
Yeah,
cars.
yeah, right.
Oh my
Well, I mean,
God.
it's already 120, 130. It can get up to 140 inside those cars on a cold day.
Really?
Yeah, on a
That's
cold.
right. Because you have some background on that. You're right. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that. NASCAR was in Las Vegas.
I
too.
didn't.
No, they actually have a lot of innovative technology. They have what they call a cool suit,
Okay.
as well as a cool helmet.
Wait a minute. Is that the same? Like when you're in the cold, when you pee on yourself, you get warm?
No, George.
That's separate. Okay, something different.
George.
Okay.
So, I mean, the lower end teams that can't afford all the high end stuff, they wear a cool helmet. It's basically an air conditioning unit that's behind the seat, and it pumps cold air into the helmet.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
wow.
I didn't know
Okay.
that.
It's basically just to keep your head cool because they say if you cool the head off, the rest of the body will be fine. Okay.
Yeah.
So now the cool suit is actually where they have ice water. They have like this ice water thing in the car, just like with the air conditioner.
Right.
And it pumps cold water through the suit.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
I've heard that when I was doing the first aid classes and all that for one of my employers, they were saying that if someone had if they're getting near a heat stroke or to cool them down quick, is to put ice behind their neck and the groin area. Have you heard that?
Yeah.
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 Well, I just put it in my groin area just to be. Anyways, the deal with the NASCAR, Mr. Davis.
There's something that'll wake you up, George. Stop it now.
Right. The NASCAR, what's the top speed in NASCAR? Is that 200 miles?
Well, depending on the
40.
No, well, not necessarily that high, Carol. That's why they have restrictor tracks. Okay. So what restrictors are? So we're talking about Daytona, and then we're talking about Talladega. Okay, these tracks are over 2.5 miles long. Okay, ovals, right?
Right.
So now, what they've done, because they could get to 250, right? So what they've done instead, they call it a restrictor plate race. So what they do is between the carburetor and the intake manifold, they actually put this little plate in there that has smaller holes. Okay, so it restricts the airflow into the motor. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they don't have a fan, is what you're saying. to cool
No.
down the
They
engine
got
because of-
fans. They still got
Okay.
fans. They didn't get
Okay.
no. We're talking about the air fuel mixture that's going into the combustion chambers to create the explosions that
The explosion
create
of
the
exhaust.
horsepower.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
Okay. So they restrict that air. So that's why in restrictor plate races, it literally takes a lap, 2 laps to get the car up to speed. Okay.
Gotcha.
But on those tracks now, when they go down into turn 1, they're generally running about 111, 112 miles an hour.
Wow.
Okay. Now, do you know if it's tar?
Oh, I'm sorry,
or if
2.
it's
I'm
country?
sorry, 2. 211, 212. is
Okay.
their mileage, their
Okay.
miles per hour. Now, most of the tracks, Carol, they do blacktop on the
Yeah.
straightaways,
Blacktop car. Yeah.
and then they'll do concrete in the corners.
Ah, for
So
the
it won't stick.
resistance
So
of
it
the
sticks or
vehicle
what?
as it's turning to give
Well,
it
well,
control.
well. When the blacktop gets hot, right?
Right.
Blacktop softens up, it'll move.
Yeah, it's
Oh
like
wow.
jelly.
Okay.
Yeah, it's car. You think
Okay.
about it like that. It's hot.
And then you got these tires that are extra hot and extra sticky, so they grab that loose blacktop, and then they're picking up. Now you got potholes in the racetrack.
Oh wow. Okay.
Imagine you coming down the track 180, 190 miles an hour, and the car in front of you throws up a piece of blacktop.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay. Now, again, on these restrictor plate races, what makes them exciting? Some say it makes it fun. Others say it makes it really dangerous. They're running that average 190, into the corner, 211, 212, just like 5 o'clock traffic. I mean, you can literally reach out and touch the car next to you, and they're all traveling that fast
Oh
together.
wow.
You know what? I think
No.
Lulu drives for NASCAR. That's how fast she drives sometimes.
So, anyway, but yeah, that's my little NASCAR spiel. I mean, I've always been into auto racing all my life. So it's just one of the things I
What is the
still am.
NASCAR? What's the acronym? Do you know? I don't know much
National
on the spot.
Association for Stock Car Racing.
Okay, and now I know we talked about this way back. It was the concept or the idea came from the bootleggers running from the cops.
Well, the bootleggers were the first ones that literally got into NASCAR.
Okay.
Okay,
Gotcha.
Bill France, he created NASCAR just as a way to highlight the stock cars, the new cars, bringing the auto manufacturers into this. But because these moonshiners were modifying their cars, stock cars, right, to outrun the police, they were one of the first folks that got into it. A lot of your teams, the first teams and stuff that got into NASCAR, they were bootleggers.
Oh wow.
There was quite a few of them, quite a few of them that they'd come to the track. It was crazy back in the day because they would drive the car to the track, right? Change the wheels, drop the exhaust where now you have straight exhaust instead of the mufflers and stuff like that.
Right.
They sit out there and run 400 or 500 laps, whatever the race was, pull it back in the pits, put the car back together, and drive it home.
Oh wow.
Wow.
You know,
Okay.
And see, like you love the NASCAR, I like the horse racing, but I wish that down here, I don't know about in California, we have a lot of street racing where they'll stop traffic and do street racing. I wish that they would make
Yeah,
some
I've
type of
I've
track
heard
for
that
these
here
young
about them.
people because,
Hmm.
it's killing people. They're driving on regular streets that are not
well,
made for this.
I get it, but street racing is a big thing that goes on nationwide. I'm being honest. I used to be involved with a lot of street
Me too.
racing.
Me too. On
And
motorcycle and car.
nowadays with this new takeover stuff where they just take over a whole
Take over a
intersection
whole intersection.
and they get out there and do all kind of crazy stuff. It's really, really dangerous.
It
It's a
is.
lot more dangerous than the actual street racing itself.
Yes.
When I was in the street racing, we always tried to find secluded roads and streets and stuff, that didn't have a lot of cross traffic and all that kind of stuff for us to do our
Country
racing
roads
on.
or FM
You know,
roads.
Plus, let's keep it 100. You build a car at home in your garage, it could be really, really fast, right? But
Right.
then when you go to the track and you try to race it, well, now your car has to go through tech. So, and what that means is if your car is so fast, you got to have a cage in it.
So
Okay.
is that when they say it, that they say I've heard this term, oh that car is street legal. Is that what it means or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's street legal. It could be high performance, but it's still street legal.
Okay.
right?
Like a Corvette. Corvette is street legal, but it's a high performance vehicle.
Right.
It's
But
like
when
me.
you start, but like when I say, like, so for instance, if your car goes over, I believe it's 10 seconds.
175.
Well, no, it's 10 seconds, whatever, in a quarter mile. They do it by time. If it's going 10 seconds in a quarter mile, you got to have a roll cage. If you're going over, I should say under 10 seconds, you got to have a roll cage. If you're going under like 8 seconds, you might have to have a parachute.
Like me, Mr. Davis. I'm high performance. I have a lot of gas. Is that the same thing? No.
And you have an aerodynamic body.
So it's Party Friday. Okay. Thank you,
So
George.
anyway, what we got going on here? What time is it? So, but yeah, no, I mean, plus, how can I say, racetracks actually frown on gambling in racing. So in the streets, we can bet thousands on a race.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you know. So I mean, plus in on the track, they want to put you in what they call brackets. If your car is this fast, you race other cars that are in that same bracket, speed bracket, right?
Oh, okay.
Right.
And so on and so forth. Where out on the street is, we call it run what you brung. You know, I mean, we're talking about motorcycles against cars. We're talking about, let's say an 8-second motorcycle against a 10-second car. We'll give the car a 2-second head start.
Okay. And you said you used to race too, Miss Carol, back in the day?
I did.
Really?
I
Okay.
had a Chevy Nova. My uncles kind of helped me build things up. So we had, one street that now has street lights on it, but at the time when we were racing, it didn't. No
Right.
stop signs. It was just straight. And, we built up this car and I loved it. I loved racing. And I was
Yeah.
short, sat on 2 pillows, but I did it.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah, but I mean, again, we try to do it. When I was doing it, we'd go to like industrial areas at night when there's no traffic,
No
or on the
traffic.
weekends. On the weekends, and we're talking about really, really long straight streets. Where we don't have to worry about having to block off streets and stuff like that. So I mean, it can get dangerous. It can. I mean, I've seen one guy was killed in a street race, but guess what? He didn't die because of an accident. He died because he had a heart attack while he was racing.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So is
wow.
that the basis for like those movies, the Fast and the Furious and all that?
Kind of, sort of. They just took it to a different level. I mean, when they went out to the desert, yeah, they were doing a quarter mile thing, right? But when they were doing the stuff in the city, there was corners, and so it was more of a like a street race, like a Formula One race where they race around the world on street tracks.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
They had
So,
years ago in the '80s, Mr. Davis, here in El Paso or in Juarez. They had the Indy, the short ones, the small ones, the flat ones. I guess you call them. I don't know what to call them. The Indy, right? That's
yeah,
Indy.
the Indy cars and Formula One cars look very, very similar.
I think it was Formula One, but they had an event there in Juarez, and my uncle worked at that time for El Paso Towing, so we got to park inside the circle or inside. Man, that was so cool. You could feel the cars just coming by, and that was so cool. I'll never forget that.
Oh,
That was like 40
yeah.
years ago.
And
Well, I got
trust
a.
me. Oh, I'm sorry, Ed.
I'm sorry, Kelly, as well. Well, I got a friend that has a funny car. You know what that is?
The long
Yeah,
one
a
that
car that
has the
laps?
parachute.
No, well, that's a top fuel car, Carol, the long ones.
Okay.
The funny car has the same engine as a top fuel car, but it's in a shorter car. When you see them on the track, you see they raise up the whole body, and then the driver climbs in, and then they set the body back down around him.
Oh,
Those
yes. Okay, yes.
Okay, those are called funny cars.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Why, they make you laugh or what?
No, it's just because to them it was funny that the car, is short and it has the same motor as the top fuel car, which is super, super long.
Long. Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But again, them cars can run 300 miles an hour in a quarter mile.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes, that's why they had the parachutes, right?
Right, exactly. Well, they got multiple parachutes. Some of them have
Yes.
But
2 or 3
yeah,
parachutes
just
back
to
there,
slow it down.
But when
Imagine the
you're
G-force on that.
there's a lot of G-force. There's a
Mm.
whole lot of G-force. But even standing there with them, like I said, my buddy's got one, so I've been to track many times with him and worked in the pit crew with him. And
Oh wow.
man, when you're standing on the line and that car, you know, light turns green and he takes off, you can feel the vibration in the ground. You
Yep.
can feel the compression or the combustion in the air. It's just everything, right? It's the whole. It vibrates your whole body.
Yep.
When them cars take off, and then I'm sorry, I'm hooked. There's nothing on the planet that smells like racing gas. Oh my
No,
goodness, it
it's not.
smells so sweet.
You should see
It's
what
a
I fart.
nice aroma. And
No,
George,
I
the
don't
funny
want to
thing
smell your gas, George. I just do not want to smell your gas, my brother.
But George, honestly, I mean, all we had back then was a lap belt. Now you can pull it all over your shoulder and pull it across your lap. But back then it was just a lap belt. It was so dangerous and no airbag. Just
Well, and
imagine.
that's another thing about going to the track. See, when your car is at a certain speed,
Mm.
you have to wear what they call a 5-point harness.
Mm.
Okay, so that
So let me
means
ask you this. I don't want to interrupt you, Mr. Davis. Going back to NASCAR real quick. When Dale Earnhardt passed, is it because he didn't have the proper equipment or just going too fast?
no. What happened with Dale? It was a combination of things, and I really Dale was a great race car driver. He's truly missed. He was super special.
One of the best.
One of the best, if not the best.
The best,
But
right.
as a pound for pound, he's up there, right? So,
Yeah.
but no, Dale, number one, he drove with an open face helmet.
Okay, I remember that. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Mm.
Mhm.
and the reason he drove with an open face helmet was because he said he could feel across his face the changing of the airflow
Okay.
Mm.
while he was racing, right? So when he had his accident, he got turned and went into the wall head on, right? And so what happened was his two things happened, but he was dead before the second thing.
Mm.
When he had the accident, you imagine, you running 180, 190 miles an hour to a dead stop.
Mm.
Okay. The weight of his helmet, the weight of his head, he hyperextended his neck, and that instantly killed him. But then his face crashed into the steering wheel,
Oh
Ooh.
wow.
Ooh.
okay, and broke his face.
Ooh.
So
Yeah.
now, what came out of Dale's Earnhardt's accident is a new device they call a Hans device, head and neck restraint system.
Mm.
So now they have these. It's a carbon fiber or lightweight aluminum thing that they put over their shoulders, right? And it has a thing that comes up behind their head, and it hooks straps to your helmet.
Okay. Yes. I remember them. I heard about that.
Okay.
Okay.
Then when you put on that 5-point harness I was speaking of, it holds that Hans device in place on your shoulders.
Mm. Okay.
So now if you have that head on collision, those straps on the back will keep you from hyperextending your neck.
Your neck. Right.
How about your internals going forward? The
Well, I
heart
mean,
and
your body and all that stuff. I mean, you're good. You're good. I
mm,
mean, that's why you see guys doing, in these accidents, especially what we're talking about, these restrictor rate races. That people say they're dangerous. Why? Because if you just accidentally barely touch another car, you can send that car spinning, and next thing you know, it's doing cartwheels down the track. And then, it lands 5 somersaults later, and you see the driver crawl out, and hey, he's good.
yeah. I've seen
You
that.
know, So I mean, the safety innovations within NASCAR, and a lot of people don't realize auto manufacturers use auto racing for research.
So let me ask you this: now that you're saying that, and what I can see, is that why I remember when cars would be flipping, the top like a lid, a flapper will pop up? That's to stop the car from flip or the speed.
Right. It's basically called an air dam. It's like an air brake.
Okay.
So it pops up to catch the air to stop the car from doing what it's doing.
Okay, yeah, I can remember that.
Yeah. I mean, they got those all over the top of the car. They got also some that, have a hatch up there where, if the car breaks down, you can open up the hatch and crawl out like a sunroof.
Yes, I've seen that too. Yeah, they should have that for humans, where you're falling and stops you.
They should use that same technology on regular vehicles, though, because sometimes these accidents, and they're not even going half as fast as a lot of them, but they just don't use that innovation. They're trying to go the cheaper way.
Well, I mean, they do. They're getting more power out of a smaller motor.
Right. You got a 4 or 6. Some of them are 8s. That's it.
Right. Well, I mean, again, in NASCAR, they're all 8 cylinders, right?
Right.
But again, it's just the technology of, how the fuel management, how they, get it into the engine, the efficiency in which it burns. All of these various things add to the horsepower, right? So now they can take that same technology and put it into a 4-cylinder. And now you got a 4-cylinder. Like back in my day, I had a 36 horsepower Volkswagen, 4 cylinders, right?
In the back with your
That's both. Old Volkswagen Bug.
Yes.
But bottom line, that thing wouldn't run no more than about 70, 80 miles an hour.
That's it, right?
Okay, but in today's world with modern technology, that same motor could probably run 120, 130 miles an hour.
Right.
Oh wow.
Right.
Okay.
So I mean.
By the way, my aunt still has hers from the 70s. She still has her.
Oh my God,
yeah.
that's a classic. You're kidding. That's worth a lot of money now.
You want a classic? You got to get back pre-67.
Oh, you're talking about like what?
A 67 or older. Those are the true classics.
The true classics, okay.
Okay, and the reason I say that is they say true classics because they didn't start putting the VIN number in the windshield of a Volkswagen until 68.
Really?
Okay.
You, Mr. Davis, you remind me of the guy from Pound Stars. What's his name? Richard, the main guy.
Right.
You know everything about cars. I'm like, damn, that's pretty cool.
I thought I did.
I know, right? I'm like.
Well, I mean, Volkswagens were my thing. So, I mean, they started the padded dash in a Volkswagen. I think it was about 66, 67. They had the padded dashboards. Before then, it was all steel.
4-speed too, right?
Oh, they were all 4-speed.
Yeah.
I mean, they did come out with what they call a electric manual.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, an automatic manual, whatever. But it had an electronic clutch to where when you put your hands on the gear shift, it would engage the clutch, so you didn't have to.
Oh wow! Okay.
So when we think about racing, you always put your hand on the gear shift and you leave it there. You couldn't do it with that car.
Oh wow! Okay.
Because you had to move your hand away in order to re-engage the engine.
Gotcha.
So, but again, I've had several Volkswagens. My first one was a 62, and then I've had a couple 66s, 67, but the one I did with my father, my stepfather, we actually had a 57 with the oval back window.
Oh wow, those are good. Those are classics, right?
Yeah. So we did that one. We built that one together. That was a father-son project we put together.
Like old school Pacers and Gremlins and
Nah, well, I didn't mess with none of them, but I get what your point. I mean, I was in the Volkswagen. Then I got into lowriding and got into Chevys and stuff like that. And so, but anyway, with all that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get these these
time for a break.
commercials out the way,
Yep.
and then we'll get into
Into the articles. So what Mr. Davis, he's looking for those articles. Just remember that Christmas is coming up, and don't go into debt, because I saw an article yesterday on NPR that people are going to average spending $900 for Christmas, and I'm like, wow,
if you ain't got it, don't spend it.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
just that simple. So anyway, let me get these commercials out the way, and then we'll get into this article and finish up the hour.
If you'd like to know more about Blind United, you can visit our website at blindunited.org. You can email us at info@blindunited.org. You can call us at 909-846-8825. You can follow us on Instagram at Blind United Interest Groups. You can follow us on X at Blind United 22. You can watch our YouTube channel, Blind United. You could join our Facebook group, Blind United Interest Groups, or you can follow our Facebook page, Blind United.
Join Blind United for a night of fun, food, and festivities at our ugly sweater and sneaker party. Celebrate the season with us while making connections and supporting a great cause. Win Saturday, December 28th, 2024. Time, 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Where? VFW Post 2070, Monrovia, California. Cost, $35 per person in advance. Payment deadline, December 18th, 2024. How to reserve your spot. Zelle your payment to Blind United Inc. and use the email blindunited2022@gmail.com. Memo. Include sneaker party and your phone number or email. What's in store? Attire. Bring your holiday spirit. Wear your ugly holiday sweater and your best sneakers. Menu. Enjoy a Mexican fiesta featuring nachos as appetizers, chicken, beef, or pork plates with rice, beans, tortillas, salsa, cheesecake, sodas, and water. Let us know of any dietary restrictions. There is a cash bar, drinks available for purchase. Raffles and contests. Raffle prizes. A 65-inch TV, shipped directly to the winner. An anyday cookware set and a Ring doorbell must be taken home by the winner that night. Raffle tickets, $5 each or 5 for $20. 50-50 drawing, $1 per ticket or 6 tickets for $5. Contests, show off your creativity and win a $25 gift card for Best Ugly Holiday Sweater, Best Sneakers. Don't miss out. Reserve your spot today for an unforgettable evening of food, fun, and fantastic prizes while supporting Blind United and its mission to empower individuals with disabilities. For more information, contact Ed Davis, CEO of Blind United. Phone 909-532-9513. Email info@blindunited.org. Celebrate, connect, and give back in style.
All right. Well, looking forward to that party, last party of the year. Hopefully we're going to have a lot of fun with that. My brother George is going to be our live virtual DJ for that one. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
You better get ready for some gorditas there, Mr. Davis.
Okay, I don't know what that is.
What's that, George?
Gorditas is like it's a genre of music where the I guess we'll call them participants or the dancers. They kind of go in a circle real fast, but they go like back and forth and like left, counterclockwise, clockwise. So you have to see it, but it's got gorditas. I can't wait to see Mr. Davis do those.
Well, I can't think of anybody in the room that's going to even know how to do all that, George.
Right, and I know.
So, but on that note, we got something that's very interesting topic here. It has to do with guns and different stuff like that. So I'm going to let the article do what it does, and then we're going to talk about it on the other side.
A CBS News investigation has uncovered a startling trend in law enforcement firearm management. Over the past 2 decades, more than 50 law enforcement leaders across 23 states, Puerto Rico, and Washington, D.C. have been implicated in the illegal buying and selling of firearms. The investigation sheds light on how these practices could contribute to criminal activity, raising questions about the responsibility and oversight within law enforcement agencies. Key revelations. The resale of service weapons. Between 2006 and 2022, approximately 145 law enforcement agencies resold used service weapons, representing nearly 90% of surveyed agencies. These resold firearms have been traced back to at least 52,529 crimes across the U.S., according to ATF records. Military-grade weapons concerns. While the investigation focused on standard service weapons, other reports have highlighted military-grade weapons being trafficked abroad, particularly into the hands of Mexican drug cartels, often with the assistance of U.S. citizens. Potential risks. Resold law enforcement firearms risk ending up in criminal hands, undermining public trust and safety. The broader implications. The resale of decommissioned police firearms represents a pressing issue that demands immediate action. Without strict oversight, these weapons can perpetuate cycles of crime, erode public confidence in law enforcement, and jeopardize community safety. Recommendations for reform. Ban the resale of police firearms. Policies must be enacted to prohibit the resale of service weapons by law enforcement agencies. Mandatory destruction of decommissioned firearms. Decommissioned weapons should be destroyed to ensure they never re-enter circulation. Strengthened oversight. Agencies need robust systems to track and manage firearms responsibly, ensuring accountability and preventing misuse. A community conversation. This investigation highlights the urgent need for reform in the way law enforcement agencies manage firearms. It's a reminder of the profound impact that policies and practices within these institutions have on public safety. What do you think about this issue, Coffee Time listeners? Should there be stricter regulations for managing law enforcement firearms? Share your thoughts below. Now, back to the Coffee Time crew for more conversation.
So, let me start by saying this. I am not anti-police. I am anti-bad police. Okay? And there is a big difference in that. There's a lot of good law enforcement officers out there that are, putting their life on the line every day, to protect us and our society and stuff like that. But there's also a lot of bad cops out there that are doing stuff like what we're hearing here, right?
Resale of so to get what I heard correctly, so they're basically reselling, or not reselling, but selling the decommissioned service weapon.
Well, that as well as confiscated weapons, George. I mean,
oh wow, okay.
They're just selling them across state lines and stuff. I mean, as an example, so let's say North Carolina. You can walk in any gun store in North Carolina and buy whatever gun you want, right?
Yeah.
For standard market value, right?
Right.
You can take that same gun, travel another 200 miles north or whatever it is, into New York, and now you can sell that gun for 3 to 5 times what you paid for it.
But like you said, the article.
Oh, I'm sorry, George.
Go ahead, man.
So what you're saying is, if they make a bust and they confiscate guns, they're selling these guns instead of putting them in storage for the trial or whatever it is that they need.
And I'm not going to say not all folks are doing that. Not all cops. But there are cops out there, just like if you a cop bust, a dirty cop, right?
Right.
Bust a dope dealer.
Right.
Maybe he had, $700,000 cash in the house. They might not turn in but $500.
Right.
You're right. Okay.
Okay.
Right. One thing that, if I could say one thing my cousin told me after COVID, especially, he used to be a patrol officer. Now he's an instructor. But he was saying that he noticed a trend. It might have been from the George Floyd incident also, but he saw a huge shift in the lack of respect when it came to law enforcement. He would go to a call and right away, oh, use this and bleep bleep bleep, and he's like, you know what, George, just I saw a big shift when it came to how the community responds to a law enforcement. Like you said, Mr. Davis, not every law enforcement is bad. There's some good souls out there, like my cousin, and he's willing to give up his life for yours. And
Right.
yeah, people don't see that; they just see the negative stuff.
And
Right.
George,
But again, I'm sorry, Kel, but I just want
I'm
to point
sorry.
this out. You don't see cops like what was that cop that put his neck on George Floyd's neck, right?
His leg.
No, he literally had his knee
Knee on the neck, yeah.
Yeah,
on
his
that
knee.
neck. That knee was pressing down on the main artery that's feeding blood and oxygen to the brain,
Right.
right? And then he's sitting there with a little smirk on his face,
Because he
right?
knows what he's doing.
He knows exactly what he's doing. All the people in the crowd around him is telling him, "Man, get up off that man's neck." He don't care, okay?
Right.
Because he's one of those kind of cops, right?
Right.
Now, here's what's bad. How many good cops were standing around watching that one bad cop?
That's the
A
point. I think,
lot.
yeah, you're
A
right.
lot. And
Yeah.
they were afraid to say anything or do anything. And
Okay,
that's a sad thing.
yeah, because a good cop, worst enemy is a bad cop.
Hmm.
That's
Okay,
right.
because
Good.
the bad cops are the ones that are in focus, then everybody gets the impression that all cops are bad, and they're not.
No, they're not.
You know, I mean, I celebrate good cops. I mean, we had a cop in L.A. He eventually became a SWAT member, right? He actually died in a domestic dispute
Wow.
here in L.A. SWAT was called out, but this guy opened up what they call the Challengers Boys and Girls Club in LA.
Mm.
Okay.
Wow.
I mean, he totally funded it and ran it. You know what I'm saying? He had programs where, for the youth, he had job training programs, So again, there's a lot of good cops out there. I've met a lot of good cops, you know, but I've also experienced a lot of bad ones. So again, the bad cops are the ones that's doing this. You know what I'm saying? They're just in it for the money. I mean, I do a lot of stuff where I watch like First Amendment auditors and stuff like that. And in that, you find out, what they're calling them tyrants, right? And you'll
Right.
find out that these cops actually, they'll get fired from this department, but then they'll just go cross town or into another county and get a job with another department.
Yeah, I've seen that. You're right.
And
I've seen that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's like they'll
it's
have one cop that, for example, has a history of assault in one department. You just resign or whatever, go to the next department, and yeah, I've seen that. You're right.
And he
I
carries
kind
on
of
doing
look
the
at
same stuff. No, go ahead.
no, I kind of categorize it like school bullies. You can go from one high school that you've
Yeah,
been dismissed from and you move to another one and everybody knows your record, but they don't reprimand you and they know your record.
I
But
think
they
there's.
expect you to just do, something. They think you're going to be better, but you're not. If
I
you're
think there's
bad, you're bad.
Miss Carroll. I think that at one point, I think there was a particular incident that happened with one officer went to one department after another, and I think they're trying to make it whereas that paper follows that officer, right? Because they can say, oh, okay, wait a minute, you worked at this department at this agency and you were fired or released or whatever. But in other words, they're making a way where it could digitally follow that officer to another department.
But you know who's blocking all that, George?
Who?
The police unions.
Yeah,
Oh, of course. No, I hear you.
yeah, they
Hmm.
are.
Okay. Why? Because if they want to keep as many officers working as they can
That
so they can get those
that's
union
it.
dues.
That's it. People are not hiring up to just put their life on the line. So they're taking anybody that will come in, but the majority of the people that are coming in are not the ones that we need to represent our city, period. they know they're bad cops and they move from state to state to state. And these young people, they don't have a lot of people that want to just put their life on the line.
There you go.
They
That's it. That's the problem. Yes, ma'am.
So
So
I
they're
was
hiring these young people that think that they can help the community and they really want to, but they don't want to speak up because of that blue shield that is going to reprimand them being even in their vicinity.
well that thin blue line thing they got going on. But I was used to work at Winters. I think I told you guys making donuts all night long. But
Yes.
a
That's
lot
why
of
we
folks.
get along so good. You have a donut history.
So
How do you make those holes?
with a cutter.
Okay. Just wondering.
But anyway,
Do you know they used
you
to
know,
throw those away, George? I'm sorry. They used to throw the holes away and somebody said, let's make money off of them. And here
Yeah,
we go.
like Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah.
well, no, let me go here, Carol. Working for Winters, we did not throw the holes away. Once you cut them, you take the holes and then you mix it back in with the other dough. And then you just
Ah,
re-roll it out and go that way. It was just at the very, very end that there might be a few left. But again, then they came out with donut holes. Oh, okay, well, let's do this, right?
right.
But actually, most donut holes, they're not raised donuts, which is what you're cutting, right? They are cake donut holes,
Okay.
Okay.
meaning that they created a device. We had a hopper. I don't know how we got from guns to donuts, but
We gonna move back. Well, we
uh,
talking about cops. We talking about
well,
cops.
right,
Hey,
right,
cops
right.
It
like
go together.
donuts.
It go together.
So with your cake donuts, you mix up your cake batter, and then you put it in this thing. It's they call it a hopper, and then you crank this handle, and it pushes out a certain measurement of cake batter in the shape of a donut. It just drops it right into the grease.
Ah.
Mm,
Okay, and then it starts
okay.
the frying process right there. So they created another device that you put in the hopper that is now, instead of putting out a donut, now it'll put out 4 donut holes.
Oh, okay. I get it. Okay.
Okay, but
Hmm.
they're cake donuts.
Okay. Okay.
So
Hey,
but
for me,
anyway,
donuts are donuts. Going back to
back
the
to the
guns.
police
Going back to
attachment to
guns.
this. There was a lot of sheriff that was in the area where at the donut shop where I worked, and they used to come in and hang out. Of course, they hang out at donut shops all the time, right? Especially late at night. There's not a whole lot of traffic going on out there, not a lot of stuff to do. But anyway, they used to come in and hang out with me, and we'd be talking. And I asked one of them one time, especially when it comes to the sheriffs, LA County sheriffs, because the sheriffs actually run the county jail system, right?
Yeah.
And when you go to the county jail, those cops are so, man, they're just awful. They're awful, right? So I asked dude, I said, man, why are there so many, bad cops in the county jail? He said, well, what happens? So you have 3 different kinds of officers, sheriffs in the county jail. You have the sergeants, seniors. Those are the folks that have done their time on the street and they just want to kick back, you know what I'm saying, and coast through until they retire, right? Those are
Right.
good ones. Then you have the assholes that could not make it on the street. They kept getting write-ups and all this other kind of stuff. Okay, so rather than fire them, what do? They put them over there with the inmates, right?
Okay.
Then the third kind of cop is when you come through the academy, you have to serve a year inside the county jail system. And the recruits end up getting caught up in the ways of the bad cops. So now they have that bad cop mentality when they hit the streets.
Oh wow.
That makes sense?
It does.
I mean,
That's like a
again,
vicious cycle, huh?
right, it's a vicious cycle. But in that process, I also, again, some cops, like when they would stop somebody and they had, maybe some weed or whatever, they didn't want to do all that paperwork. They just take their weed away from them. You know what I'm saying? And let them go on their way.
Right.
You know, I mean, imagine again going and doing a raid on a drug dealer or whatever. You finding all this money, you finding all these guns, right? Are you going to turn in all those guns?
Oh,
Well, Mr. Davis, wasn't there a story? I'm not sure if it was a movie or, anyways, of an LA police officer that would actually take the drugs and sell it.
Yeah, that was the Rampart division. That cop is actually in jail right now. He was actually pulling drugs and stuff out of the evidence locker and selling it.
That's what
oh,
I heard.
wow.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. I forget what his name was, but
Bettis, Ortiz or Bettis or something like that. I forgot what it was.
yeah. I mean, again, when he got busted, there was a bunch of them that fell because he wasn't doing it by himself.
Of course not.
I mean, that police station, that precinct, Rampart, they had to go through a whole new overhaul after that because of all the dirty cops in there. So again, there's a lot of really good cops out there, but again, the few bad ones, they really make it look bad for the good ones, right? And
Right.
and I'm sorry, I hate to go here, but are you truly a good cop if you're standing by watching a bad cop do bad things?
True.
No, no, you're
You're
not.
right.
No, you've got to speak out.
You
Speak
got to
up.
stand up. You got to get the bad element out of the department. You really do.
Because
Because
they took an
otherwise,
oath. They took an oath.
well, yeah, I mean, I get that, but, I mean, I'm sorry, so did Trump. Uh, you know,
You had to go there, didn't you?
I had to. I'm
You
Yeah,
had
sorry.
to go there,
you're
didn't you?
right. I opened the door. I did. He's
But
right. It's right.
so I mean, again, it's those that believe in the oath that they took, and then there's others they took the oath for the paycheck. They took the
Right.
oath because of the opportunity that they would have to do dirt. You know,
Right.
I
Right.
mean, the cop in Training Day,
Oh
the
yeah.
Oh yeah, Denzel.
Denzel, he was a real LAPD
Yes, sir.
officer.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
he was. He
Okay,
was.
he all that in the movie where he was in the jungle. Yes, he was in the jungle,
Yeah.
which is a neighborhood in LA for those that may not know. But again, he was that dirty. He literally was that dirty. So again, there's good ones, there's bad ones, but we need police, y'all. We
We
really
do.
do need police, but we don't need the bad element. And we got to come up with a better system that's going to help us weed out these folks.
Can I say
Uh,
something? Let me say something real quick about that, Mr. Davis, because there should be a show on A&E. It was like a parallel to Cops, right? The long running series. So this one's was following cops and whatnot. So I don't know why I was listening to it and I paused it and I walked over to my wife and I asked her. I showed her my phone. I go, "Are these El Paso police?" She was, "Yeah. Why? How did you know?" And you know how I knew, guys? The way they talked.
Mm.
Like, what I mean is like, really, bro, an essay, and just the way that just the lingo. I'm like, that's a police officer. And I understand they work the streets. I get it, but still, you know what I'm saying? It's just the the
right.
the tang in their voice, if that's the way to say it.
The
It's just I
dialect,
caught the what
dialect,
the
verbiage.
dialect, and I just caught it, and it just for me, what happens is when you don't have the recruits, right? So you go, oh, I'm gonna get this guy to come. He wants to come in and work for El Paso Police or any police department, but are they truly vetted, right? Have they been through that process where, you know, are they on a power trip? Are they going to use that power for good or for bad? You know what I'm saying? Like you said, Mr.
Well,
Davis.
I know, they do run across a lot of bad elements. I mean, it's a lot of bad people that are out there, but you know right from wrong. And whether you wear a badge or not, that shouldn't give you power to do wrong
True.
if you know right. So, they've got to do something. I mean, I don't know if it's about the pay or what it is that makes them like, want to put their life on the line, but you've got to change something about just serving your community because it's got to get better.
And again, I mean, I'm sorry, they need to be held to a higher standard because they are entrusted to uphold the law. Okay,
Right.
they
Right.
are, like here in California, we don't have the open carry and all that other kind of stuff, right? So they have the privilege of walking around with a gun on their hip.
Not
Okay,
here in Texas. Everybody has one. How was Carol?
right.
Yeah, that's what I said. We got it. It don't matter how old you are. You can carry a gun in the store, to
Well, let me ask you
church.
this. Let me ask you, Miss Carol, Mr. Davis, real quick before we go. What do you think of, and I saw this in, I think, San Antonio or Austin, a blind person wanted to get a weapon. Carry a weapon. What do you think?
I have a weapon, but I don't use it. I have a bat, but I don't use it. What I use is a saw because I feel that more people are afraid of being cut than shot.
That's true.
Well, and then again, there's a county in Georgia. I forget the name of the county, but it's actually against the law to not own a gun in that county.
Oh, really?
What?
Yes, yes. So, but I've done, I've been doing a few, YouTube stuff, podcasting, streaming, whatever for a while. Not as long as my brother George, but I've actually done interviews with guys that are blind and they do have guns.
I
My
wouldn't mind
preference,
having one here at
George,
the
is
house. I'm
actually
not
a
gonna lie to you.
revolver. My preference is a revolver. I don't want an automatic. I want a revolver, a six
Well,
shooter, and to me, it just works better. Police used to use those as
Yeah.
weapons.
Yeah.
Protocol.
well, on that
People.
note, how about this one? It's something we ain't brought it up, but it was in the news. It happened yesterday. You heard about the guy from United Healthcare
I
that
know they
got
got
killed
shot.
in New
Yes,
Yes,
I
York?
sir.
did. That was a
The,
mark.
the gunman, number one, he had an automatic weapon with a silencer.
Yes.
That gun literally jammed on him 3 times.
Yep, I saw that. I heard about that.
Okay,
Mm.
but he was calm enough to unjam the gun, fire another shot, then it jam again. He was only able to shoot,
With
3
two.
rounds,
Twice or
but
3 times, I think.
he
Yeah.
shot him twice, once in the back, one in the calf, according to the articles. But there were 3 live rounds that got ejected on the ground that they
Did you hear
found.
what they say? They said it was something that was etched in
Yeah,
it. Like,
they had some verbiage that was etched in some of those bullets,
yes,
Oh,
why
George.
you do
really?
that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
wow.
So
yes. So
it's some
he was
crazy
marked.
stuff. Yeah, dude.
Premeditated.
I think dude is gonna get caught up really, really soon because
He
they
will.
also have video of him, images of him at a Starbucks, maybe
Unmasked.
unmasked,
Yeah.
5-10 minutes before the incident, and
Right.
then the alley that he ran through. They literally found that
Oh, his
bottle of
phone.
water. They found a phone and a bottle of water that he purchased at that Starbucks.
Oh, they got him. DNA is
Okay.
gonna knock him down. It's just a
Uh,
matter of finding him.
so again, how do we know that gun ain't one of them dirty guns?
Right.
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 You never know.
You
Because it's
never
a dangerous
know.
world, and you don't know. You
I mean,
don't.
one more point on this. There was a period in time, everybody jokes about they came up with the song Batarang, right?
Right.
You know what the Batarang was?
No.
The one that knocks down the door?
Yeah. But do you know what that vehicle was, Carol?
No.
It was military surplus tank.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Okay.
The
Ooh.
LAPD bought that tank from the military. They took the gun turret off and added a batarang of a long metal pole with a flat plate on it that they
Okay.
could just drive right up on your front yard and ram that pole right through your front door.
Yep, I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But so my point being, during that period of time, there's still a lot of cops out there. With some of these changes within what they call seizure forfeiture laws. So a lot of these departments, if you catch a drug dealer and he had $1 million cash, they get to keep some of that money.
Yes.
Oh, they gonna keep it.
Okay.
The
Well, no,
sad thing is
legally. I'm
sometimes
talking
they.
about legally.
Yes.
Legally, they
What?
get to keep some of that money. And then what they do is they take that money and they in turn go buy some of these military grade weapons.
Yes.
Okay. And what does a small country, sheriff department, police department need with a Gatling gun?
Well, it's the
Nothing.
same thing. Let me put it this way: that same idea. Why does a person need a AK-47 at their home?
Nobody
Well,
needs that.
all of that.
Mhm.
I mean,
Nobody
again,
to show off, George. That's what that
Mhm.
is. Everybody
you
wants to
know,
say they want to show off.
See, like
I
me,
mean,
Miss Carol, I can't go to airports because they don't allow guns. So my arms, boom, boom, they can't. Anyways,
Yes, they do. Put it in your bag.
no, you didn't hear me.
They don't check your bag.
no, it went right over your head, Carol.
I said I can't go to the airport because the guns and my arms, they're guns. Get it? Anyways, yeah.
Get it? It did.
Yeah.
I was a
I
little
think we're coming
slow.
to the end of the show
Sorry.
anyway, so no more jokes.
Yeah, but no, I mean, again, but my point being, you got a lot of these guys that are taking that money and they're buying these military grade style weapons. Although the article did not focus on that, I mean that's the way to buy military grade weapons, and now you can sell those weapons to the cartels.
Mm-hmm.
What I want to know is where did he get the silencer?
Oh,
Those
you can
are
purchase those. Oh
you
yeah,
can make them. They're
you can make
actually
them.
they're not that hard to make.
Mm-mm.
Oh wow.
I mean, out here, gun shows out here, you could go to the gun show out here and you can buy all the parts to make a silencer.
Yep, I
That's
heard of
That
those.
crazy.
now you got to assemble it, but you can get all the parts.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
So again, it's all the loopholes in
Loopholes. Right.
laws and stuff like that. We used to go to the gun shows and stuff out here, and of course the gun dealers, they could not sell us weapons without doing a background check, right?
Right.
But guess who could sell us guns without a background check?
The ones in the parking lot.
Well, not only that, but I'm talking about people that legitimately had tables within these gun shows.
How's that?
Collectors.
Oh, okay.
They're not a dealer.
Oh,
They're a
that's the
collector.
loophole.
That's the
Okay.
loophole.
Gotcha.
Well, the loophole here is
Gotcha.
that we're already at the hour already, so
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is. So
we've done it.
let's have to play that outgoing music. Because Pedro's not here, our
yeah,
button man.
so anyway, again, it is Friday, y'all. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend, and man, we'll be back with you again on Monday. So until then, everybody have a great weekend, a great rest of your day, and we'll see you on the next one.